Okay. Buenas and Hafidi, the Committee on Infrastructure, Economic Development, Simon Sanchez High School, Disability Services, Self-Determination, Historic Preservation, Housing, Public Accountability, and the Guam Bureau Informational Briefing is called to order. It is currently 3:30 p.m. The time, and it's Tuesday, December 19, 2023. Today, the committee will hear testimony on the updates of reconstruction of Simon A. Sanchez High School. Notice of this hearing was provided to all senators, stakeholders, and local media on December 12, 2023, satisfying 5-day notice, December 17, 2023, satisfying the 48-hour notice. In addition, notice of this hearing was also posted and available on the Guam Legislature's website and YouTube channel. Materials for this information's briefing hearing were shared in the committee drive and are available for print upon request. Recording of today's hearing will also be available on the Guam Legislature website and YouTube. For signing convenience, we have a QR code at the door, and if you want to use your web browser, you can use bit.ly/RABQ_sign in. Okay, joining me is Senator Perez, my former teacher from Simon A. Sanchez High School. So, Sidzos Masi for your presence, Senator. The Makaha Act was passed in June of this year to move forward the plans of an upgrade of Simon A. Sanchez High School so it meets the current educational standards. The purpose of this informational hearing or briefing is to discuss and receive progress updates on reconstruction. I appreciate your participation on this informational briefing and look forward to a collaborative and productive discussion. Before we start, I'd like to provide some general rules of conduct for those in attendance. The conduct of this hearing should be as follows. Individuals speaking shall only use respectful and professional language and conduct. Personal interference or character or motive of any senator or any individual is not permitted. The chairperson of the committee may order the removal of the hearing from the committee, subcommittee, or of any person who is not a registered Guahan member or who fails to observe proper decorum according to the 37th Guam Legislature's standing rules. All must abide by the rules of conduct and quality assurance standards. And thank you for your understanding and cooperation. Before we get started, remember to introduce yourselves and the organization or job title you hold. Thank you. Okay. So without further ado. You guys can. Okay, let's begin. Can you share an overview of the construction management services?
I guess I'll start, Mr. Chairman. I have prepared testimony, and then from there we can move on.
Carry on.
Good afternoon, Senator, Mr. Chairman, and Senator Perez. My name is Vince Ariola. I'm the director at the Department of Public Works, and we've been tasked to handle the construction of the new Simon Sanchez High School. I'm here to present you with an update on the construction of the Simon Sanchez High School. Let me begin with a little background on the involvement of myself and DPW with regard to this. Well over 2 years ago, while the building plans were being developed, I was invited by the former superintendent to attend briefing meetings with himself and GDOE staff. I was also joined by Mr. Sabino Flores, sitting right next to me, a longtime engineer with DPW who's now retired. We attended and received updates on the building plans, timelines, cost estimates, etc. One of the very important issues that we both brought up was the hiring of a construction manager to act as the owner's agent and direct representative during building design and construction. Unfortunately, a CM was, and to date has still not been brought on board. Subsequently, for some reason, we weren't included in any of the further meetings. We kind of like to tease it that we were invited, then we were disinvited. And so today we have the building design completed, a law authorizing DPW to begin the procurement of the construction, but no CM. Without the services of a qualified CM, it would be irresponsible to move forward with any form of construction. DPW does not have the staff to perform these technical services for a project of this importance and this scale. We have been working on developing an RFP to procure the services of a qualified CM. While it has taken several months, we have been extremely diligent in our efforts to ensure we receive the exact services required. For our purposes, the RFP is essentially completed to procure CM services, and we hope to have it released soonest, pending approval from the Attorney General's office. For a project of this magnitude and without the resources within DPW and/or GDOE, clearly the government needs assistance. The CM is expected to review the present design and assess all the disciplines involved in the design and forthcoming construction. These would include civil, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, refrigeration, etc. A review for potential cost savings in design and construction is a must. Other issues to be reviewed include the method of construction, materials to be used, construction timelines, and other efficiencies. Prior to construction, the CM is expected to plan and coordinate all construction activities with the contractor. A clear understanding of the design elements, construction methods, and all the resources involved in the construction is expected between all parties. During construction, the construction manager is on site to ensure all aspects of the design are followed correctly. Timelines are met, costs are kept to budget, and accountability is ensured throughout the process and the project. Procuring the services of a CM should have been done a while ago. We could probably be in the IFB for construction phase today. This is a phase in the overall project that is critical and necessary to assist and protect the government. The CM is also expected to assist in developing the bid package for the final construction. Until such time as we have a qualified CM on board and thorough assessments have been made to include possible revisions, I am unable to provide any form of timeline for the bid procurement of actual construction. With this CM RFP, we're assuming a release date pending AG approval. After that, 10 weeks for proposal submission, evaluation, selection, and contract award. Once awarded, a conservative timeline of at least 90 days is envisioned for review and assessment of the design, construction methods, and other criteria and bid development. This project is a very high priority at our agency. We will continue our efforts to ultimately break ground on the new school, and we look forward to your support as well as the entire community. Thank you very much. I remain available for questions.
Okay, thank you. First Lady.
Good afternoon, Senator Quinata, Chairman, and Senator Perez. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Simon Sanchez High School funding source. The account was actually established with DOA, between DOA and GDOE, so we're waiting for the funds to be transferred to us. As soon as it is, we will transfer the funds to Mr. Ariola, to DPW, so they can move forward with the CM and whatever's necessary to get the school going. I believe the funding is about $10 million. To also add that we've already expended $6 million just to do the A&E. Sir, we're going to work together and move as fast as we can, and I know it's been delayed for some time, but sometimes patience will pay off when we work together. Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I'll recognize my colleague, Senator Perez, if she has any questions.
Okay, so I know within the Office of Attorney General, there's supposed to be a dedicated procurement person. I believe it's Attorney Nishihara. So, I mean, what has been the turnaround time for DOE procurement? I know a lot of procurement goes through the Attorney General's office. Can you give us a rough estimate of when we expect to get a response?
Yes, Senator. For this specific project, it's been Assistant Attorney General Tom Keeler. That he's been with us from the get-go. He does all our other contracts for federal highways and so on and so forth. So when this came on board, he's been involved with this project. So it's still with the Attorney General's office. We have, as I mentioned, in terms of the actual RFP scope of services, it's complete. We're very fine with it. I think the one thing that we are having an issue with is the composition of the evaluation team. The Makahat Act, the one that was passed in June, I think specifies the superintendent, specifies my position, I think Department of Land Management and a couple others as part of the evaluation team for any type of construction, financing, whatever. In our procurement law, within DPW, it specifies DPW employees. So the AG is looking at that issue and see which trumps what, so that we can include that in the RFP. That's the only thing remaining in the RFP. You know, assuming we get that by the end of the week, we can release the RFP as early as next week. It's that ready to go.
Senator, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. Joanne Camacho from Guam Department of Education, Finance and Administration. To add to that, Senator Perez, just for clarification, the procurement will come out of DPW, not GDOE.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. But, okay, so Tom Keeler, but, okay, thank you. I guess I was confused that I thought it was Nishihara that was supposed to approve it. But Keeler, who in the AG's office is reviewing this, though?
That would be Assistant Attorney General Tom Keeler.
Keeler, okay.
Yes.
All right. And you submitted this, when did you submit this to them?
I'm sorry?
When did you submit the solicitation package to them to review?
I'd say maybe 4, if not 5 weeks ago. It's been a while. But I know, especially with something, again, this is a $140 million overall project, right? They're going to be as diligent and as exact as possible. So I agree with Joanne here. We are not going to rush this project at all. We understand the circumstances of building a new school, but we want to do it right, and we want to do it correctly.
Okay. All right, and I guess the 10 million, so we're waiting on DOA to provide them the funding, is that correct?
Yes, and I believe it should be happening this week.
Right.
Okay, and what's the source of that funding?
It was through an appropriation that you folks did to DOE, so we need to get the money so we can take it out of our operations, and then our superintendent will be the one to authorize the transfer.
Okay. Isn't it the case with DOE that the funds are automatically provided? So I think DOE is one of those agencies that get the funding up front, and then they just have to report the drawdown. Is that correct?
No, we rely on BBMR and DOA to give us the allotment, and then we take it from there. The purse string is still held with the administration.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this seems to be like the same story that we've been hearing. Like, we're waiting on the construction management, and I think that was over several months ago, in fact. So, you know, I hope this is truly the case, that it is with the AG's office, and that, you know, we are going to receive word any moment. Have you contacted their office and see what is, have they had a chance to look at it, and if there is there any feedback that's been provided?
We met with them. We meet with them regularly. I've been in contact with Attorney Tom Keeler on several other issues, to include this, and he is very well versed on the RFP. Mind you, also, it took several months, if you will, for us to develop the RFP. You know, we were always of the understanding that the procurement and construction of Simon Sanchez was left to DOE, GDOE. And then in June, the law was passed that shifted it to DPW. So we had to shift some of our projects, some of our staff, and we were very fortunate to have a former employee of GDOE who currently works with DPW now, and the assistance of Mr. Flores here. And between the three of us, we put the RFP together. But even that took 3, if not 4 months to put the RFP together, the technical aspects of it. I can tell you it's very complete. We believe we've covered all the bases for a construction manager. It's just, you know, and this is water under the bridge, but we stressed well over 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, we were at those meetings and we stressed very strongly, you need that construction manager now. We do it all the time at DPW. We don't do a road construction project unless we have a CM on board. And that's standard practice, and it works very well, and it protects the government.
Yeah, I understand you've been through a lot of struggles with construction management with a lot of the highway projects. So yes, this is a very critical step. But again, I'm not really assured that, you know, progress is being made. You know, a lot of the community, the educational community, is really having a difficult time with this double sessions. You know, for both educational communities, I think are having a difficult time. And the sooner that we can get this project going, you know, I think the sooner that they can feel more assured that, you know, their needs are taken care of, because we are losing teachers. We've lost teachers, and I don't think we can continue to lose teachers, qualified teachers. And so it's really critical. This, you know, what we do today, you know, these delays are really impacting the learning experience. Sure. You know, from air conditions, I know that was an issue, a big issue, but now it's, you know, how can we get this project off the ground? You know, my concern too is the funding. So, you know, we say we're waiting on the $10 million, but, you know, we all know that DOE is struggling to get the sanitary permits for, you know, 38 schools or more. And so are we confident that we're going to get this money for the construction management procurement? How confident are we that we can get that funding in addition to paying for the refurbishment of other schools?
Senator, if I may,
Yeah.
I'm very confident. I've been working with Director of Administration and the Director of BBMR to assure, and the Superintendent, to ensure that the funding is available for this specific CM project. This is a very high priority of this administration. The Governor is well involved. I just spoke with her yesterday. We speak with the Lieutenant Governor on a weekly basis and get him updated on this, so they are very well informed on the progress. You know, it's a government of Guam procurement process that we have to follow as well, and so we can't cut corners. There's process and there's due diligence, and so you know, taking into all the other issues that we have to do with double sessions and getting a new school built, it's difficult, but specifically to your question of funding for this specific one, we have the funding.
Okay. So yeah, I'm looking towards the oversight chair to ensure that, you know, we're keeping tabs, and hopefully we get a quick response from the Office of Attorney General, because, you know, it is a hardship for our community living in the North Jigo, right? This is one of the largest villages, and to have to go through this, I mean, I've always thought there was a disparity in our educational system here on Guam, and it's really tough to go from the haves to the have-nots, and you know, we can't neglect a big part of our community, especially our students, our families, and the teaching community. It's been a struggle. I mean, COVID hit us really hard. Mawar came, and then this double session is an added you know, stressor, and it's really taking a toll on very qualified staff there. And you know, we need to do all we can as quick as we can and as competently as we can to get this project off the ground. And I know we have the board chair here who's very, also his daughter, I believe, is, you know, is working at Sanchez, I believe. So, and so, you know, I'm sure this is very close to him as well as to me and the chair here. So, you know, we really plead that you really keep a close eye on this. We don't want to come back here and have to say, okay, we're waiting on the construction management project. We need to be beyond that. I think having been, serving as senator for several terms, we put so much money into the A&E. Every year, money to the A&E, and at some point we put it towards construction, but there were so many delays along the way. And so we really need the prioritization to happen.
Ma'am, rest assured, it is a priority, and we share your sentiments about, the frustrations and but rest assured, the kids are first, and we're going to do everything we can to get it through. I think we are probably about a 90, 95-yard line right now, and maybe in a couple more weeks, everything will be in order, and we'll get the CM on board and get the school, do what we need to do to get the school built. But I share your sentiments, and we're all in the same, wanting to do good for our kids, and especially up north, where it's highly populated. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, and thank you for your participation today. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Mr. Sabino?
No, Senator, I've been working very closely with the director and his staff on moving this forward, and we'll continue to work hard to move it forward.
Okay, I do have a question though regarding, you said the design, so you had to put additional money for the completion of the design, is that correct, or did I mishear that?
My understanding is that design is complete,
Okay,
100% complete. That's my understanding.
and you didn't have to do any additional work for that?
No.
It was already ready?
Right,
It was just a matter of getting the construction manager
right.
in place?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Paris. My apologies, Mr. Angel Sablan, DPR Director / Mayor's Council Chairman / Board Chairman.
Democrat?
Democrat. Oh,
Republican.
my apologies. But I'm so sorry, I forgot to recognize you earlier on. the
No
panel.
problem. I told you I was going to come back. We do have a board meeting at 4 o'clock, so Ms. Joanna and I have to rush up there. But yes, I came here because I do have a vested interest in the construction of Simon Sanchez, not just because my daughter is a teacher there and has always been a teacher ever since she was a teacher at Simon Sanchez High School. Senator Sabina was a former teacher there. You're a former student there, graduate from Simon Sanchez. My son was not able to graduate from Simon Sanchez because of the conditions that happen around graduation time. But GIGO has had a double whammy. We don't have Simon Sanchez High School. We don't have F. Leon Guerrero Middle School. They're both unoccupied, unused. And I know that the superintendent and Ms. Joanne and all the deputies are on board with me and the rest of the board. By the way, the board chairman is Dr. Mary Okada. I'm just the chair of the Health and Safety Committee. But we are all on board in making sure that this happens for our students. I heard the other day that somebody was spreading a rumor that the superintendent was thinking of not building Simon Sanchez at all. And I approached him on that. And I said, you cannot make that decision not to build Simon Sanchez High School. We've invested too much time, too much money, too much energy into making this school happen. And if there's anything that we can do, and all the people and the students of GIGO and the surrounding areas, is to give them that school that they so much want to graduate in for so many years. And I think the bottom line is that after hearing from Director Ariola and the First Lady, it's going to happen. It may not happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen. And the money is there, and maybe, Mr. Chair, we should have a monthly update meeting so that the fire is always under our noggins to make sure that we are moving forward. The money is there for the CM. They've already told us that it's going to be next week, and we're going to, in a couple more weeks, pull out the RFP and get a proposal back. We look forward to that CM coming on board and making Simon Sanchez High School happen. If anything that I can do as a board member, or if anything that I would love to have done as a board member, is to make sure that we get that school started and built. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sablan. So I'll see you on the 26th. We won't have monthly, but we'll have weekly meetings. But yeah, jokes. No, really, I'm very much. I have a lot of vested interest in this. My year is the year that shut it down. Everyone hated our year because we went to the AG's office and really drummed up a typhoon for the department. But look what happened. So I'm very much frustrated with the situation. I share the sentiments of the community. I share the sentiments of the classes up there that have graduated, unfortunately, without a home. But again, it's been a tireless effort for me. I may not call you guys every week or all day, but I do follow up with you guys on period of time. I'm, maybe not you directly, but I tell the governor, I said, what kind of godson am I if you're not putting me as a priority? You said the school is a priority. We need to get the school done. So, it's been a procurement issue with the AG's office. I'm very unhappy that the AG's team wasn't able to make it today, but I'm hopeful that I'll have a conversation with him later on this evening to see what his updates are for me, and I'll be sure to let you guys know, and I'll be sure to call the governor in the next 30 minutes and see what she's doing. I'm going to go visit her now. But other than that, thank you. I know you guys have a board meeting to attend. If there's anything our office can do to support you guys, please let us know. Without further ado, there's no further questions for this committee. The committee appreciates your participation in today's informational briefing. I commend you all for your participation today, and I want to say that each of you guys' participation today is a contribution to the progress of Simon Sanchez High School, and my office remains open to you guys to move forward any of those agendas. It is now 3:58 p.m. This concludes today's informational briefing and hearing. We are now adjourned.